Your brain is aging fastest in the morning. Every single morning, you're either protecting your cognitive future or accelerating its decline. Every single morning, your habits are either building neural resilience or eroding it. And most seniors have no idea which category they're in. I had a patient, a brilliant 70-year-old woman. She came to me worried about cognitive decline. Her family had Alzheimer's history. She was terrified of dementia. We did cognitive testing. Her baseline was good but trending downward. I asked about her morning routine. She described it. Wake up immediately, check phone for 30 minutes while lying in bed, drink coffee on empty stomach, skip breakfast, or eat sugary cereal. Rush through her mornings stressed and hurried. Her mornings were a neurological disaster. Every single morning she was doing things that accelerated cognitive decline. I explained the research. I gave her a new morning routine. Hydrate first thing, phone-free time, movement, protein-rich breakfast, calm inputs before stressful ones. She implemented these changes the very next morning. 6 months later, repeat cognitive testing. Her cognitive function had improved, not just stabilized, improved. Reversal of decline. She was shocked. All she'd changed was her morning routine, but her mornings had been sabotaging her brain. I'm Dr. William. Today I'm revealing the 6 morning habits that are destroying your brain and what to do instead. These habits seem innocent. Most people do them every single day, but the research shows these 6 behaviors are accelerating cognitive decline, increasing dementia risk, and eroding the cognitive function you need for independence and quality of life. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly which morning habits are harming your brain and how to transform your morning into a brain-protecting ritual. Don't miss habit number 3. It's the most widespread, the most damaging, and the most overlooked. Almost everyone does it every single morning without realizing the neurological consequences. Let me explain something critical about your brain and your morning. Your brain doesn't start fresh each day. Your brain carries forward the neurochemical state from the previous day. If you ended yesterday with elevated cortisol, dysregulated dopamine, and neuroinflammation, you wake up with those patterns already established. Your morning habits then either reinforce or interrupt those patterns. Here's what's crucial. Your morning sets the neurological tone for your entire day. The cortisol rhythm your morning establishes will influence your stress response all day long. The glucose stability your morning creates will affect your energy and cognitive function all day long. The neural activation patterns your morning initiates will shape your cognitive capacity all day long. But there's more. Your morning habits compound over years and decades. One bad morning doesn't matter. But 365 bad mornings per year, repeated for 30 years, compounds into significant cognitive decline. Conversely, 365 good mornings per year, repeated for 30 years, compounds into extraordinary cognitive preservation. The difference between someone with cognitive decline and someone with maintained sharpness at age 80 is often simply the consistency of their morning routine. Research confirms morning routine is one of the strongest modifiable predictors of late-life cognitive function. Your morning matters more than almost anything else you can control. It matters more than medications. It matters more than supplements. It matters more than any single lifestyle factor, because your morning sets everything else in motion. Get your morning right, and everything else becomes easier. Get your morning wrong, and you're fighting uphill all day and all year. I'm Dr. William. I've spent over 2 decades researching cognitive aging, brain health, and neurological interventions. I've studied how daily habits shape brain structure and function. I've worked with thousands of seniors, those whose brains are sharp and independent and those whose brains are declining and dependent. The difference almost always comes down to daily habits. And the most powerful daily habit is the morning routine. I'm here to share what research shows about how your morning is shaping your brain. Let's start with the most fundamental habit, what you eat or don't eat in the morning. Your brain relies on glucose for fuel. It uses approximately 20% of your body's energy, despite being only 2% of your body weight. Your brain is an energy-hungry organ. After a 10 to 12-hour overnight fast, your brain is starved. It needs fuel immediately. When you skip breakfast, you're denying your brain the fuel it needs to function. Your neurons are literally running on empty. Cognitive function drops immediately. Memory suffers. Attention suffers. Processing speed suffers. You experience brain fog. You struggle to concentrate. You feel mentally sluggish. Research is clear. Breakfast skippers have 25% worse cognitive performance in the morning compared to those who eat breakfast. But here's where it gets worse. Many people who do eat breakfast eat high-sugar breakfast. Sugary cereal, pastries, white toast, sugary juice. This causes a rapid glucose spike. Your blood sugar shoots up. Your pancreas releases massive insulin surge. This drives glucose into cells. Your blood sugar then crashes. You experience a glucose trough. Your neurons are suddenly deprived again. Now you have glucose chaos. Your neurotransmitter production becomes chaotic. You experience mid-morning brain fog, difficulty concentrating, memory impairment. Your cognitive function deteriorates even more than if you'd skipped breakfast. I had a patient, Robert, 68 years old, his morning. Nothing until 10 a.m., just coffee on an empty stomach. By 10 a.m., he had debilitating brain fog, couldn't focus, couldn't remember things from moments before. He thought this was just normal aging. But when he started eating a protein-rich breakfast, eggs, whole grain toast, berries, his morning brain fog vanished. His cognitive clarity improved. His memory sharpened. He could focus. The difference was dramatic. Mechanism. Protein provides amino acids for neurotransmitter synthesis, dopamine, serotonin, GABA, acetylcholine. Complex carbohydrates provide sustained glucose without dramatic spikes. Healthy fats support neuronal cell membrane integrity and myelin formation. A balanced breakfast feeds your brain exactly what it needs. So what should you eat? Eggs with whole grain toast and vegetables, oatmeal with berries and nuts, and Greek yogurt with fruit and granola, protein, complex carbs, healthy fats, fiber. This combination stabilizes blood sugar, provides amino acids, supports neurotransmitter production, and your brain functions optimally. What should you avoid? Sugary cereals, pastries, white bread, sugary juice, donuts, anything with refined sugar. These create blood sugar chaos and cognitive chaos. So tomorrow morning, skip the sugary cereal or the breakfast pastry. Eat something with protein. Feed your brain. Your morning cognitive function will transform. But even if you eat a perfect breakfast, there's another critical morning behavior that most people neglect, one that dehydrates your brain and impairs cognitive function immediately. This is simple but profoundly important. Your brain is 75% water, not 50%, not 60%, 75%. Water is absolutely fundamental to brain function. Neurons require hydration for electrical transmission. Glial cells require hydration for nutrient transport. The cerebrospinal fluid that bathes and cushions your brain requires water. Every biochemical process in your brain requires adequate hydration. During the night, you fast for 8 to 12 hours. During this time, you're still losing water through respiration, through minor perspiration, through metabolic processes. By morning, you've lost approximately 1 to 2 cups of fluid. Your brain is dehydrated. Even mild dehydration impairs cognitive function. Research is clear. Even 2% dehydration causes measurable cognitive decline, worse memory, worse attention, worse processing speed, worse mood. When you wake up dehydrated, your brain is already compromised. If you then skip hydration, if you go straight to coffee on an empty stomach, your dehydration persists and worsens. Your brain continues functioning in a dehydrated state throughout the morning. Your cognitive performance is suppressed. Conversely, if you drink water immediately upon waking, you rapidly rehydrate your brain. Cognitive function improves immediately. Research shows people who drink water first thing show 30% better morning cognitive performance compared to those who don't. I had a patient, Margaret, 72 years old. She had chronic morning brain fog. She'd wake up feeling mentally sluggish, couldn't think clearly, couldn't focus. Multiple doctor visits, multiple workups. Neurologist found nothing abnormal. She started taking water upon waking, 16 ounces with a pinch of sea salt. The salt helps with absorption and electrolyte balance. Within 3 days, her morning brain fog was gone. Her morning cognitive clarity improved dramatically. She couldn't believe how simple the solution was. The brain fog was dehydration. So here's what you do. Immediately upon waking, before anything else, drink 16 ounces of water. If you want, add a small pinch of sea salt or an electrolyte tablet. Helps with absorption. Drink it slowly, let your body absorb it. Your brain will rehydrate. Your cognitive function will improve. This single habit can transform your morning. But as important as breakfast and hydration are, there's one morning habit that might be even more destructive. a habit almost everyone does every single morning without realizing the neurological damage it causes. This is the habit I see most frequently, and it's devastating for brain health. Here's what happens when you wake up and immediately check your phone. Your brain is in a vulnerable state. You've just emerged from sleep. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for decision-making, impulse control, and rational thought, is not yet fully activated. Your default mode network is active, the part of your brain that does internal processing, mind-wandering reflection. This is actually healthy. During sleep and upon waking, this network does critical work, processing memories, consolidating learning, working through emotions. But when you immediately check your phone, you interrupt this critical process. You bombard your brain with external information, notifications, emails, news. Your amygdala, your fear center, activates. You experience a stress response. Your cortisol spikes. Your brain is jerked from a calm, internal restorative state into a high-alert, reactive stress state. This sets your cortisol baseline for the entire day. You start the day in sympathetic overdrive, your emergency response system activated. Throughout the day, your baseline stress level remains elevated. Your prefrontal cortex function is suppressed. Cortisol suppresses prefrontal activity. You experience worse decision-making, worse impulse control, worse emotional regulation, worse memory formation. Additionally, your phone provides immediate dopamine hits. Notifications, likes, messages, interesting content. Your brain receives these dopamine hits and learns to crave this stimulation. Over time, your brain becomes dependent on phone stimulation for dopamine. Your intrinsic dopamine production declines. You can't feel good or focused without phone stimulation. You experience anhedonia, inability to experience pleasure without stimulation. Additionally, morning phone use disrupts your attention networks. People who check phones first thing have worse sustained attention throughout the day, worse working memory, worse executive function. They're more distracted, more impulsive, more reactive. Research is devastating. Morning phone checkers have 40% worse cognitive performance, higher anxiety, increased depression, worse sleep that night. This habit is probably the most damaging of all 6. I had a patient, David, 70 years old. His routine: wake up at 6 a.m., immediately grab phone, spend 20 minutes checking emails, texts, news, social media while still in bed. By noon, he's exhausted, brain fog, can't concentrate, anxious, reactive. He decided to experiment. No phone for the first hour after waking. Wake up, drink water, meditate for 10 minutes, eat breakfast, take a walk, then check phone. The difference was shocking. His morning clarity improved dramatically. His daytime cognitive function improved. His mood improved. His nighttime sleep improved. One habit, change no phone for first hour, transformed his entire day and his entire life. So here's what I urge you to do. Commit to no phone for the first hour after waking. Just 1 hour. Your brain needs this. When you wake up, drink water, meditate, or journal, eat breakfast, move your body. Then after your brain is awake, alert, and ready, check your phone. This simple boundary protects your cognitive function, your attention, your emotional regulation, your entire day. But there's another morning habit that directly damages memory formation and cognitive capacity. Morning exercise is one of the most powerful brain protectors available. Yet most seniors skip it or defer it to afternoon or evening. This is a critical mistake. Here's why morning exercise is so powerful. When you exercise in the morning, you immediately increase BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. This is fertilizer for brain cells. BDNF supports neuron survival, encourages growth of new neurons, neurogenesis, and promotes learning and memory. Morning exercise increases blood flow to your brain. More oxygen, more nutrients, more glucose delivery to neurons. Morning exercise activates neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to form new connections. Morning exercise increases dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, all neurochemically healthy. Even 10 minutes of morning movement has measurable cognitive benefits. Research is clear. People who exercise in morning have 20% better cognitive function, better memory, better attention, better mood throughout day compared to those who don't exercise or who exercise later. Additionally, morning exercise sets your metabolic tone, improves insulin sensitivity, reduces systemic inflammation and neuroinflammation, protects against cognitive decline. Morning exercise initiates a cascade of neurochemical and physiological benefits that persist throughout the day. I had a patient, Patricia, 75 years old. She had mild cognitive impairment. Her neurologist had warned her about progressive cognitive decline. She felt hopeless. Then she started a simple morning routine, 20-minute walk every single morning. That's all. Nothing else changed. After 6 months, repeat cognitive testing. Her cognitive function had improved, reversal of mild cognitive decline, not just stabilization, actual improvement. She attributed it entirely to her morning walks. Mechanism: morning exercise increases GDNF, glial cell line-derived neurotrophic factor, increases neurogenesis in the hippocampus, memory center, enhances synaptic plasticity, improves executive function. So what should you do? 30 minutes of morning movement. Walk, yoga, tai chi, light strength training, swimming, dancing. Anything that gets your blood flowing, your heart elevated, your muscles engaged. This activates BDNF, increases blood flow to brain sets, metabolic, and neurochemical tone for entire day. If you do nothing else, do this. Morning movement is non-negotiable for brain health. But here's another morning habit that undermines everything else you're doing to protect your brain. When you start your morning by checking work emails or reading stressful news or engaging with conflict on social media, you're activating your threat detection system. Your amygdala activates. Your stress response activates. Cortisol spikes. Your HPA axis, hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, your central stress response system becomes dysregulated. This elevated stress state becomes your baseline for the day. You start in a hypervigilant threat detection mode. Your prefrontal cortex function is suppressed by elevated cortisol. You experience worse decision-making, worse impulse control, worse emotional regulation, worse memory formation throughout the entire day. Additionally, chronic morning stress accelerates cognitive aging. Chronic cortisol elevation damages the hippocampus, memory center, impairs neurogenesis, and accelerates neurodegeneration. Research is clear. People who check work email in morning have elevated cortisol for 4+ hours, higher anxiety, worse cognitive function, worse emotional regulation throughout the day. Chronic morning stress equals accelerated cognitive aging. I had a patient, Marcus, 68 years old, CEO of a large company. His habit: wake up immediately, check 100+ emails. Constant stress, poor memory, brain fog, difficulty concentrating, anxious, reactive. His morning emails were sabotaging his brain. I suggested delay email until 10 a.m. Spend first 2 hours in calm, productive activities. Meditate, journal, eat breakfast, exercise, read something inspirational. Then check email. He was skeptical, but tried it. The difference in his cognitive function was profound. His afternoon cognitive performance improved, his memory improved, his mood improved, his decision-making improved, his leadership effectiveness improved, all from delaying emails by a couple hours. So here's what I urge. Protect your morning. Delay stressful inputs. Don't check work email first thing. Don't read stressful news. Don't engage with conflict on social media. Spend your first hour in calm, positive inputs. Nature meditation, inspirational reading time with loved ones, gentle movement. Allow your nervous system to activate gradually from parasympathetic, rest, to parasympathetic, sympathetic balance. By the time you engage with stressful inputs, your brain is ready, your prefrontal cortex is online, you can handle stress effectively. But there's one final morning habit that undermines all of these, a habit almost every senior does every morning. Many people wake up and their first action is coffee, black coffee on an empty stomach. This is problematic. Here's why. Caffeine is a stimulant. It stimulates cortisol release. Cortisol is your stress hormone. When you consume caffeine on an empty stomach, caffeine is absorbed rapidly. It hits your system hard. Cortisol spikes dramatically. You experience jitteriness, anxiety, stress response. Additionally, caffeine on empty stomach increases stomach acid, can cause digestive issues. More importantly, caffeine interferes with your natural cortisol rhythm. Your body has a natural cortisol pattern, should be highest upon waking to help you wake up, then gradually declining throughout the day. Caffeine interferes with this natural rhythm. Additionally, caffeine triggers glucose release. On an empty stomach, this creates blood glucose dysregulation. Your blood sugar spikes, then crashes. Blood sugar dysregulation equals cognitive dysregulation. Research is clear. People who drink coffee on empty stomach have worse cognitive performance, worse mood stability, worse sleep that night compared to those who eat first, then have coffee. Better approach: eat breakfast first, then have coffee. Food and stomach buffers caffeine absorption, reduces cortisol spike, provides sustained energy baseline so caffeine adds appropriate stimulation, not excessive stress response. I had a patient, Eleanor, 72 years old. Her routine: wake up immediately, drink large coffee on empty stomach, experience jitteriness, anxiety, brain fog by mid-morning. She felt anxious and stressed. I suggested, eat breakfast first, then have coffee. She tried it. The change was dramatic. Morning anxiety disappeared, mental clarity improved. She could think clearly. She could focus. One simple change, eating before coffee, transformed her morning experience. So here's my guidance. Wait at least 30 minutes after waking to drink coffee. Eat breakfast first. This allows your body to metabolize food, stabilize blood sugar, establish baseline energy. Then add caffeine in a more balanced way. Your brain will thank you. Now let me give you the complete morning routine that protects brain health. This is the ideal sequence. 6 a.m., wake up. 6:05 a.m., drink 16 ounces water with electrolytes. Rehydrate your brain. 6:15 a.m., 10 to 15 minutes of meditation or journaling. Calm your nervous system. Allow your brain to wake gradually. Activate parasympathetic nervous system. 6:30 a.m., 20 to 30 minutes of movement. Walk, yoga, tai chi, light strength training. Get blood flowing. Activate BDNF. 7 a.m., eat protein-rich breakfast. Eggs with whole grain toast and vegetables, or oatmeal with berries and nuts, or Greek yogurt with fruit. Feed your brain. Stabilize blood sugar. 7:30 a.m., drink coffee if desired. Now your brain is ready. You have food in stomach. Glucose is stabilized. Caffeine won't cause excessive stress response. 7:45 a.m., 15 minutes of positive educational input. Read something inspiring. Listen to uplifting podcast. Journal about gratitude. Prepare your mind for the day. 8 a.m. Now check your phone. Emails, news, whatever you need to handle. Your brain is awake, alert, ready. Your prefrontal cortex is online. You can handle information effectively. This sequence rehydrates your brain, allows natural waking, protects your nervous system, establishes healthy neurochemical baseline, feeds your brain appropriately, introduces gentle mental stimulation, and then and only then introduces external demands. This is the morning that protects cognitive function. This is the morning that builds cognitive reserve. This is the morning that prevents cognitive decline. The beautiful part? This takes about 2 hours. That's it. 2 hours to protect your brain for the entire day. 2 hours to set up your entire day for cognitive success. 2 hours that compound over years into extraordinary cognitive preservation. That's the trade. 2 hours a day for decades of cognitive health. Absolutely worth it. Here's what I want you to understand about the power of morning habits. Daily habits compound over years and decades. A good morning habit practiced daily equals thousands of days of brain protection. A bad morning habit practiced daily equals thousands of days of brain damage. If you've been doing destructive morning habits for 30 years, you've subjected your brain to 10,000 plus days of damage. That compounds. That accumulates. By age 75, that's a significant cognitive deficit. Conversely, if you've been doing protective morning habits for 30 years, you've given your brain 10,000 plus days of protection. That compounds in the opposite direction. The research shows people with protective morning routines have cognitive function equivalent to 10 to 15 years younger than their peers. This isn't just one habit. It's the compounding effect of multiple protective habits practiced consistently. Each habit multiplies the benefit of others. Hydration plus breakfast, plus no phone, plus exercise, plus positive inputs, plus delayed coffee equals synergistic brain protection far greater than any single habit alone. Your morning matters that much. What's your current morning routine? Which of these 6 habits are you doing? Have you noticed how your morning affects your brain? Drop your story in the comments. What changes have you made to your morning? What results did you see? Ask me questions about creating a brain-protective morning routine. Share your experience. You're part of a community of people optimizing their mornings, protecting their brains, and taking control of their cognitive future. Let's recap the 6 morning habits destroying your brain. 1. Skipping breakfast or eating high-sugar breakfast. 2. Not drinking water first thing. 3. Checking phone immediately upon waking. 4. Skipping morning exercise or movement. 5. Checking work email or stress-inducing content first thing. 6. Starting day with caffeine on empty stomach. These aren't minor habits. These are brain-altering behaviors that compound over decades into either significant cognitive advantage or significant cognitive disadvantage. Your choice. And here's what I want you to understand most deeply. You have complete control over your morning. Starting tomorrow, you can change every single one of these habits. You can create a morning that protects your brain. You can prevent cognitive decline. You can preserve your sharpness into your 80s and 90s. You can maintain independence. You can preserve your identity and your cognitive capacity. It doesn't require expensive treatments or complicated protocols. It requires redesigning your morning. That's it. So I'm urging you, commit to the brain-protecting morning protocol. Start tomorrow. Wake up, drink water, meditate, move, eat breakfast, drink coffee, check emails, in that sequence. For 2 hours, practice this daily. After 1 month, notice the difference. After 3 months, your brain will thank you. After a year, you'll be experiencing cognitive benefits that most people your age have abandoned. You have this power. Use it. Protect your brain. Build your cognitive future. It starts with tomorrow morning. Before we finish, this video is for educational purposes. If you have existing cognitive concerns, consult your neurologist or healthcare provider. These morning habits are preventive measures for cognitive health optimization. Always work with your healthcare team on cognitive health. If you want evidence-based senior health content every single day, information that could literally protect your cognitive future, subscribe to this channel now and turn on notifications. I'm Dr. William. Thank you for watching. Your brain is worth protecting.